Okay. Great.
Sorry, welcome back to Romance in Grenada, Caracol, and Petit Martinique. This is part 2, and we are continuing to romance with Mr. John Calliste of Paradise, St. Andrew's Parish in Grenada. John, before we went off on part 1, you were talking about you becoming, you reestablishing or creating an organization for the cooperatives.
Yes.
I think Shamin was about to ask you something, so let's just jump right in and continue there.
So what I wanted to know, because it seemed like you were the ultimate self-starter, you after the disbandment of the revolutionary government and those organizations or cooperatives that were maybe held together to help Grenadians, they fell apart. Not naturally, I guess, because I think the system should be able to continue themselves. But you, seeing the importance of those services, you proactively went and got them pulled together.
Yeah.
So you, the ultimate self-starter, we say, no, that skill, of course, is something that you were demonstrating throughout your
Yes.
life so far as we're following you. How do you think now? I mean, in any given situation in Grenada, let's say, for example, we can get young people to start seeing themselves as starters and not just seeing themselves for themselves to become wealthy for themselves, but think of the greater community so that whatever they think of doing is a way of bringing the community together, not just being a millionaire themselves, but helping the communities in Grenada.
Well, for me, actually, my business mindedness comes from my family. My both of my parents, and those of you who know Scottish tongue very well, our parents had owned that right in the town of Sodes. We grew up in the business right in the town of Sodes there. And then with the old fish market was my grandparents by my mother's side had that fish market business there where they selling fishermen tackles and all this stuff, fisherman supplies and dry goods. And the other end, my grandmother was selling cloth and candies and all like street stuff and toys. On my father's side, my grandparents had a bakery, you know, so that business thing is always in the family. Regrettably, both people who older than me, I always watch them and say, look at them making these things fail. You know, I want them fail. And I couldn't do anything about it. You know, once they fail, that day was not successful, they just closed them down. And not because they couldn't continue, we was not at age enough yet to take the business over. Those who could have done that, I think some of my cousins and aunties got scared of the revolution. Because in propaganda, we got Cuban style, everybody can do this and can't do this and can't do it. So they flee Grenada. They're going to leave the United States and so on. All right? Aunties and so on. They're gone. So the business in one sense, the bakery, which I think was the biggest business, would have been able to prosper if the older siblings had taken over and run it, you know? It was doing good. We used to I see the buses and everything stopping, and so there was business going on. But apart from that, my coming to myself, it's always seeing progressive people doing things. You know, the boss study ahead, Muffman, was a family member of mine, right? And he had one of the biggest bus business in Grenada. All right. Then I look around, Mr. Major Calliste is a family member.
Oh, he's from our side. He lives on our side.
Well, yeah, he did business on our side too. I guess John's frozen again. A little.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do what I need to do to get stuff done. So to go back to your question about self-starting, I think all of us are created to start, but very few recognize it. Yeah.
But I think, as you say, your family, you had a certain kind of confidence, and I think a lot of that comes from being
raised.
And maybe having both parents around. And I know Shamin used to tell me a story, and I'll tell you about it, about these two brothers who one came out very badly. Their parents weren't very happy together. The dad was smoking, drinking, whatever. One came out very badly, the other one came out very good. And when you ask them both, why are you bad? One would say, because my father was bad. And when you ask the other one, why aren't you bad? And he'd say, because my father was bad. I know.
I like that.
So we always choose our paths.
We choose our path, but I think being in that kind of family situation you had, as you say, it was like a community. And as you know, one of the Africans saying it takes a village to raise a child. So you had this kind of community behind you, plus your height statistically shows taller people seem to have a lot more confidence. All this kind of brought you into yourself
earlier.
You are a very confident person from very early, and I think it's because why I would say predominantly a height too, because you were rubbing shoulders with the bigger boys.
Yes. You have a lot to say, and even now with Genesis and my little daughter, they don't operate as their age group, and the daughter Genesis is still lagging behind compared to what I used to do at her age.
Right.
But, she often shared this story. I told her about how at age 16, 17, I was the bodyguard, a personal security to the Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister of Grenada, and and she's saying like, what? I said, yeah, you guys still behind.
Right.
Yes.
The leaders of the ocean was 21 years old. Headache was turning 22 in April. He was 21. Bogo, 22, 21. They was very young people.
Right.
So these are the people I look up to back then. Eddie Budler was an idol of mine, still is. I mean, besides his political flaws or whatever you want to say about him.
Political opinions.
Yeah. So he was the first one I went to when I wanted to form my school cadet corps. I went to him and said, look, I want to have a cadet corps in my school. How can I go about that? He said, okay, I'll give you the men, get the people together, students together. And I had about 50-something students join the cadet corps.
Very good.
And I did that single-handedly. Just go up and I ask who want to join, come and join me in Simmons and on Wednesday evening. So that happened. So come back to the questions in the business and taking responsibility, seeing things happen and want to get things done. I think one have to also recognize that if you don't start something that you want, nobody will start it for you.
For you, yeah.
For me, when I see opportunity everywhere I go. I see opportunity everywhere I go. I see opportunity everything. Because I don't look for problems. I look for solutions.
Alternatives, yes.
Every time somebody says, "Oh, the outside wet," I say, "Well, sell rain boots." You know what I mean? I had a friend. I went to a thing one day. Said she's looking for a brown shoes. You can't find brown shoes. I say, open a website. Brown shoes. Selfstarter is selling brown shoes.
Right.
Next thing you know, everybody looking for brown shoes. Where they coming to your place looking for brown shoes.
Right.
Everything. There's always opportunities available.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess it depends on how you look at life. If you look at life from the solution orientation, then you're always providing the solutions. But some people look at life from the problem perspective. Everything's a problem. Everything can be resolved. And so we need to teach young people how to see, even ourselves, how to see solutions. Because you always find what you're looking for. If you're looking for problems, you find enough.
Oh, yeah.
So we always should try to be the solution within ourselves and help to bring others along to that place. So you are good at doing that, it seems. And you made mention of the Agency for Rural Transformation, and that reminded me of that van. And you mentioned Montgomery Alexander, because I know they were part and parcel in helping the transformation of the rural areas. And I don't know, I'm not sure if they still do those things, have programs specifically designed for those things in Grenada now, but I know back in the day, those things seem to have spoken specifically to the rural areas and how we can help enhance ourselves as Grenadians so we can have equality and equity in all of the things that Grenada has to offer.
Yes. For me, I after the formation of the Grenada Union of Productive Cooperatives, I was able to sit with people again who I'm always comfortable sitting down elder people my level and above, I call it, are older people who have experience, Mr. Mark, and among many other persons that I can't remember the names right now, but sitting on the board of the Agency for Rural Transformation at the time, was a big thing for me, sitting around and having to go over projects.
Wait,
Your mics.
No.
Yes.
oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure that, yeah. So sitting in those meetings and stuff, and coming from where I'm coming from, and to be able to have an influence and decision making and projects, to me, it was a great thing. And I still consider myself very young at the time, you know.
But hear this, John. You know, we always had this country town thing. Did you ever feel like, oh, I'm just from Paradise, or I'm
No,
just John from Paradise?
no. The funny thing, I never look at it that way. I always see it as John doing something for Grenada. That's how I saw myself. You know, whenever I do anything, I always look at it at the big picture, not just the community from just where I came from. I represent Grenada, in Grenada.
Right.
I represent everything, you know, Grenada. For me, so when I see something that need to be done, or see opportunity how it could be done, I try to get people who might be able to see it with me and pull those resources together.
Mobilize and influence.
Yes, and so that was my thing. And so when the idea of not having a cooperative department came about, Lydia Simon and I was very good friends, and Bonner Johnson, there was in the cooperative department, and they said they're just going to work. There's nothing there to do. You know, there's no projects to follow up on. So I did hire Bonner Johnson, the president, the department head in the Ministry of Cooperative, to work for us. You know. And he was given the first choice, but he messed it up, obviously. We ended up having to fire him. That was my hardest choice. The first time I had to fire somebody. I didn't even look at my age or anything like that. There was older people, but wasn't something that I reflect on. I'm too young to tell somebody, look, I don't need your service. I wasn't afraid. The first time I wasn't afraid to tell somebody, you're fired. That's it.
So really, John was not a factor in any of those things. It's your thoughts, your mind, the things that push you. You had those push factors. You never stopped to consider your age, your size, where you were from. So you were intrinsically motivated to do things. And I think we need to help young people. And I hope this program will do that, to see, hey, Grenada 100 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago was a place where young people were not afraid to be their best selves, and not just to be them best selves for the parish or for Grenada. There's no tongue or country. Grenada is a small place. And so we all need to rally together to do the best for each other, to support each other, because ever conscious of God, we aspire, build, and as one people, advance as one people.
Exactly. And so for me, being involved in the Agency for Rural Transformation and the Grenada Union of Productive Cooperative have given me the opportunity to meet a lot of different people, you know, to talk to different people, work along with people that you probably never imagined to work with. And people always look to you for advice. What do you think, John? How do you think that could be worked out? And so I was able to provide those kind of support for things. Even in school, the principal is very calm when you have a problem, especially with students. You know, if a student doing something, you call me and say, talk to the student for me, you know? So I was always looked up on to solve some problem or something like that. You know, so I think I'm not aware, like a policy guardian to do that, is people see something in me and they come to me with it and say, can you help me do that? And I could do it. I always believe I could do anything. That's another thing. I think that makes you very valuable, because you become valuable and you feel you're valuable enough to do anything. You know, so for me, being valuable is be able to be jack of all trade.
Right.
And somebody said, you jack of all trade, and people feel like a put down, but it's not really a put down, because if you read the whole statement, what he says, jack of all trade, master of none, better than the master of one.
Yes.
That's the full statement. But people always stop at jack of all trade and they think like, well, you're doing everything, but it's better than the master of one.
And they use it negatively, but it's a very positive thing. And I often say, like, we were told, never put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And that's what another example.
That is jack of all trades.
Yes.
And I remember my mom instilling in us, you have to be as marketable as possible. less frustration. If you could do a little bit, according to the dabble in this and dabble in that, you always on the go. You don't have time to sit in misery and complain and lament and so on. You're gonna always be moving forward, looking for the next opportunity. And I have a thing to always say, which I want to throw in right here. New opportunity. Next one. So you don't dabble, you dabble in everything. You don't just sit one place with your placard, your letters, I am Mr. So and so, and I specialize in this, and I can't do anything else.
No, I think that's the most dangerous place to be
Yes.
a one-off,
You become obsolete at some point.
Yes. I don't want to be a one-off. I mean, I always position myself to win. I think Wayne Gretzky said that when he was asked, how you score so many goals? He said, I was kidding the way the puck was going, not where you're coming from. So I listen and I read all this. So I try to, even from a very young age, I remember seeing my brother and my big sister live in Montreal. She's always make sugar cake. And we have banners, he cut banners and was right, put it out there to sell, Cambron ball, guava jelly. She always selling something. Spirit. Always have that. My big brother was a DJ, he had a business going. He was very, very handy too. He used to do communication stuff with his hands.
What's his DJ name?
DJ Bud. DJ Bud. Yeah.
B-A-R-D?
B-A-R-D, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he used to be there, and he was very popular. He had like a business doing as well. So all of these things around me, I've seen that, and I look back now, and I've seen that all of this stuff was role models for me.
So John, tell us how then this translates into Rainbow City. You were saying you were alluding to Rainbow City.
Right. Rainbow City. Well, what happened? The St. Andrews Woodworking Cooperative is a women woodworking cooperative. That's what in Trenchtown. My cousin used to work there at Merle, and then there was having some difficulty.
Merle whom?
Merle, what's Merle's last name now? She's my cousin, but she's from Shantimel. She's a twin. I can't remember her last name by her father, but she's a cousin of mine anyway. But Merle, she called me up one day and said, John, I know you're good at woodworking. Can you come and help us in the co-op? We need some help. So I went in there and I saw a number of things that need to be fixed. Right away, once I go and see, I don't see problems, I see solutions. That could be done, this could be done that way. What is this machine doing here? What this machine does? Oh, this one. I said, why not using it? We don't know about to use it. I said, okay, I will train somebody to use it. So first of all, I am very much open to new ideas. So I got in there and I interviewed them one by one, talked to them individually. Why are they in this co-op? What are you expecting from it? What could you do different to make it better? So I keep talking to everybody and I realize, okay, some know what they wanted, some do not know what they want. They're just there because it's an opportunity that was presented and they just take, being there, just showing up, So then I realized that there's a management problem. Even though they are receiver of training, there's a trust factor within that organization. And it wasn't going well at all. Nobody trusts nobody, especially with money and stuff like that. So I said to them, if I have to be here, one, you have to trust me. Two, we have to work together as one unit. Nobody no individualism here. It's a team.
No big eyes and no small U's.
So then they brought in Joan Purcell, who was their oversight for things. And I met Joan and stuff like that. We didn't see eye to eye on a number of things because I know she had some issue with some people, but that for me was a non-factor. I just wanted to do what is right for the women's cooperative there. And I realized that they was selling shares, blah, blah, blah. And all that. So I said, okay, how much for a share? $7. I said, okay, I'll buy 10. So I bought shares. And so they had the most shares. So I become the president of the organization. First of all, I have to become the manager. So I started setting some stuff in place. Then I become the president of the organization, right? So as I put a new system in place, people showing up late. I said, okay, you will pay nobody by hours anymore. Paying by project, right? So I start designing everything that comes in the shop. I design and I give it to somebody to produce. Design somebody to produce. And I said to them, how you guys was doing this? It's like really hard, So I systematically decided to market the business. So I went to Mr. Wall I went to SAS, I went to Annika High School.
So Mr. Wall is now the
Who was
At
president
that time,
of the school.
principal of Grenville
School.
Secondary, yeah.
Right.
So I went to all those schools in Grenville, as far as St. David's, I went to Sutton's, and I asked them the one furniture built. So yeah, we'll get to the ministry. So I found out who the minister was, the person responsible, permanent secretary, to Rai Rotten. I went to Rai Rotten and said, look, all the schools want furniture. Okay? So how can I get the contract to do it? He said, well, a lot of people came to them asking them for the contract. I said, listen, I could produce 100 chairs per day. Can they do that? No, I have all the machinery to do that. I have the personnel.
Wow.
I could sell it cheap and they will sell it. So I give them my price list and I say, call me when you're ready. I'll be available. 2 days later, they call me up. He say, come along and see me, St. George. I go into St. George, I sign the contract. I got convent, I got Grenville Secondary School, I got Junior School to do. I'm just doing chairs and tables and stuff.
Nice.
Right? So I was paying people for project and I just show up on time, you know, to get it work done. And then when that kind of died down, we had small community projects happening. They're making cribs, making doors, making chest drawers and so on. So I give everybody a project to do. This lady always coming late and leaving early. And she took about 2 weeks to build one thing. And the price for that was $50, you know, on the dollar, on the currency thing, so $50 worth of it. And she left. You know, she couldn't handle the not getting paid at the end of the month before $105 she used to be getting.
Volume. Your volume. Oh. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And people was going home with money. First time we had a real big, even had a big party, a staff party that year. You know, people said
where you said it was in Trenchtown?
Trenchtown, yeah, right across from the old church. There was this.
I was seeing it in my mind's eye. Okay, I know what that was. Yes.
So I took over that, and we were doing well until I came to Canada. Actually, so that have happened. So there's this white guy, you know, Jim. He's ride this red scooter around Grenville.
He used to teach in SAS?
No, he didn't teach. He was just appears to be a white guy.
No, can't remember.
He was a builder. He was a contractor, a builder. He designed stuff. So he came to buy weed from one of the guys in the trench down there. I happened to walk into this. He said, "Wow, that's a big place." You know, he didn't know that happening here. So he said, he said, "Who in charge?" I said, I am in charge. He said, "Okay, can we work together?" I said, "On what?" He said, "Well, I do Cooperative Hotel. I have that. I was looking for somebody to do this stuff. I was going to give it to somebody in St. George because it's closer. But I'm living in Grenville, so I'll give somebody in Grenville and have all the machineries here that could do the work." I said, "Sure, no problem." So we did Cooperative Hotel. Then we did Xerox in St. George's. All right. And we had another hotel, I think it was Grenada Beach Resort Hotel to do. And so one evening he said, "John, pass by me. I want to show you I have a new project I wanted to work on with me, with all of this stuff from Miami." I said, "No problem, could do that." So I sat down in his house and he had this big drawing inside the house with the tongue of Grenville. And he painted it in the rainbow colors. And I said, "This is Rainbow City." He said, "That's the name." So he said, I said, what we could do then, we could have a festival on the long weekend where we could all the entertainers and craft people come together, and we could put a thing together, a festival together. I said, "But wait, I have a friend named Peter Blair," because at that time I was on the CDC already, St. Andrews. So I called Peter Blair and brought Peter Blair in and saying what we're gonna do, what we want to do. So let us do that. So we were doing Rainbow City and we're doing CDC separately. Right? So Jim and I was currently planning what we're gonna do with Rainbow City, how we're gonna do this thing. So we're not planning out and we incorporate that with we brought all the people in to the organization to this new Rainbow City thing.
Initiative.
And so the people on CDC were the same people now on Rainbow City. So we had to merge the color cost and the development organization. So that's how Salo came up. Right?
So that's why initially it had, I'm not sure what it is. Do they still have Rainbow City?
Yeah, I think.
Is it still craft? Is it still craft oriented and?
It's still Carnival, I think, Maureen.
I don't know what much go on, but I see some stuff on Facebook that they do different charities and a lot of little things and that. They've been doing some stuff. But last time I was there in 2019, 2018, there was not much activity in Grenville around that weekend. It was a dead weekend. you know, just DJs here, there, but it was not vibrant.
Revitalization
A
of
little bit of history.
Hmm.
When about was Rainbow City? Because I don't know that it's officially.
Monday weekend. That
No,
weekend.
when did it start? When
what
did
year?
1985, 86. The same year Ajamo came out. I think it was 85, 86. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But before we used to have Wits and Tides game in
before
right?
that weekend, that victory, that long emancipation weekend.
August
August
weekend there.
1st,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So after the market was on Saturday evening, Sunday and Monday, that was the
So that is how Rainbow City started. And
Yeah.
have they ever maybe made mention of that at any point in
No.
time?
You know, funny you say that because I was reading Big Jump Nation one year, and some girl from Convent won a prize for writing up about Rainbow City, and Peter Blair was the founder of Rainbow City. That was not right. You know?
Well, you said the record straight today.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, I am Peter Blaise, somebody I have to talk to in the future. But it was more on this football because he was in all sports.
Oh yeah. He dedicated a lot of time to those things.
Yes.
Give him that. And he you know, he again was he was in the RC boys school, and he was an entrepreneurial person too, that I saw grew into things too as well. He don't speak much, but he's a very good organizer.
Yeah.
He takes a blame for a lot of things that
You got your volume is.
I think John's censoring himself.
Maybe how you move, yes, how you move.
And then the tree.
John.
Hey, I miss you.
Stop moving.
I was saying, I think you're censoring yourself, which you probably were going on.
Oh.
Politically not correct. and your mic went off.
Okay.
You said Peter Blair takes a lot of blame for things, and we don't hear anything after that.
Yeah, he took a lot of flack for a lot of things that you know. The guy's a very honest guy. Very honest, very hardworking, and stuff like that.
I believe that. I don't know what he would be accused of or anything, but I remember from the 80s, he was always with a notebook.
Yes, always. That's another thing. You know, I don't know what you're writing, but you're always writing something.
Yeah.
When I started reading and listening to Agman, and all these guys, and they always have a notebook, a notepad, writing down something.
Yep. Because the faintest pen is better than the best memory.
Yes, yeah. So I always have a notebook, always writing down stuff. You know, I watch movies with a notebook, right? Looking for something that was jump out of somebody's mouth.
Yeah,
you know?
and you write it down.
Yeah, something. You know, and I make mental notes, and when I grab a pen, I try to recite in my head. So I get a pen. If I don't have a pen, I write it down afterwards, so I don't want to lose it. So yeah, but Peter Blair was that. So the Rainbow City thing was Jim was really the one who had it pinned up on his wall.
But you can't remember Jim's last name.
No, I never knew Jim's last name. I just knew him as Jim. That's all I know as Jim.
Well, the white guy on the red scooter, that might jog some people's memory.
Everybody know Jim around Grenville. He was always drinking, always looking drunk, but never drunk really. I get to know because I associated him a lot.
Where was his house? Where did he live?
He was in Paradise, just after I leave Major, Major and Canal, right? Going up there, going towards the Progress Park. That little blue house, the Aberdeen's house. He still live right in that house there. So
across from Mr. Cape.
You pass Mr. Cape going up towards Progress Park.
Okay.
On the right-hand side.
Yeah, those houses there.
House right there.
Yeah. We'll send the detectives out.
Yes. Yeah, he used to live in the Aberdeen's house. Yeah.
Right.
Renting that house there. He and his wife.
Yeah. So John, you've taken quite a journey, and as I say, success is this continuum. I want to talk about what you do right now, in terms of the radio program you have. So you still invest a lot in community building and community raising. And do you do anything back home in terms of, do you have a program you run there, or everything's done from here, or?
But everything runs from here. My attempt was to have a German friend branch in Grenada.
Right.
And that was started. We have a friend, he used to host a show on here called Comfort Zone every Saturday from 4 p.m. But he involved with the NDC. So, and you're the chairman of the St. Bart's constituency. So that it took some time off. He haven't yet come back to do the show. However, we're trying to link up with to get some government information services protocol in order to bring stuff from there on the radio as well as everybody else. But I'm not in the race. I'm just trying to build effectively.
Yes.
You know? I want to do it right. You know, not about me, but with the generations that will come after me. So set the foundation so it will not crumble. You know. People say, John, you've been doing it so long, but I've learned over the years that a successful business takes 20 years to build, not 5 years.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
No, you know,
we're going cliches all the way tonight.
But it's true, you know. If you ask any successful people, persons that have done things and become successful at it, those who assume to be successful in 5 years, they have taken the shortcut.
The thing I find is, a lot of people think you have to have, like, they plan to have success right, or to be successful right away, or profitable right away. These things take time, and that's how we lose a lot of businesses and stuff. And if you go to Grenada now, you would just see turnovers of business like crazy, because they don't have long-term plans, and they think everything happens like this. So
I think part of it is because of the age of instancy. We see a show that happens in an hour, not knowing that it took 6 months to film and present, and we think it happened just now. At the end of the show, the house is built, and so we have this mentality that everything is done so easily. And once we don't have no stick to it-ism. Once something doesn't work out in the time we expect, we give up.
You see, and that's the thing, but I think not much people write down a timeline for do things.
Yes, the project, manage a project like that.
Exactly. So they just have a wonder in generality. They just go with the flow. I don't go with the flow. You know, I plan everything. I have a picture right in front of me, looking at me right now, right there in front of me, of the future building of GemFM. Right. So when I look at it, unless I get it off the ground, I wouldn't die. You know,
Okay, Moses.
No, I said this to say that I'm committed to what I'm doing, you know. And I think Ajamava song is saying, until my work is over, I wouldn't go nowhere. I'm not gonna go nowhere. I will not fly away home until my work is over, till that work is finished. And I say that to say to people, be committed to your commitment. You know, be committed to your commitment. Be passionate about the thing that you're doing. You know, because people strive on enthusiasm. People strive and things that they see other people done, and they feel they could do it too, but they don't want to put the effort into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's why we're doing the show. So we show how you come, where you started.
Yeah,
the process.
But
so
for me,
you didn't just get up and be GemFM.
No, actually, that started in Junior Sec. Really, the whole idea started. I'll tell you how this thing. I don't know if you know Lydia was a journalist too, right? She started doing journalism in Grenada.
Who?
Bell.
Lydia Bell.
Yeah.
Started working. She started doing journalism in Grenada as well. But in school, she wanted to be on the Right On magazine. You know the Right On. Remember the Right On magazine?
Right On, yes.
Okay. So we was in the library.
Jet, right
yes,
on.
yes. We was in the library in Junior Sec, and she wanted to say one day I'll be on one of those magazines. One day, I said, well, with my little pompous self, said, you know what, we could do that. I could make a magazine, you know, and it could be on the cover. So he said, yeah, we could do that, you know. So that never faded away from our thought. I always had that. I was also the National Students Council Eastern Bloc editor of the newsletter as well. So having that in me and stuff like that, when we came here in 1990, when the Gulf War started, I was in church. And even on the pulpit, everybody was saying Salam was a crazy man. Every preacher was part of what, that's what they fed. That Salam was crazy, he's a lunatic, he doesn't have weapon of mass destruction. You know, I'm sitting by the church, I said, how dare they say the man is a madman? You know what I mean? Like, everything the USA is wrong. You know, so I was like, I gotta print my own story.
Questioning, yeah.
You know, start writing my own thing. And I didn't just start going political. There was a need for a men's magazine in the church. Somebody did a survey on all the men in the church I go to. I don't know if you probably heard about this brother here, Mr. Ronald Blake. He owned Higher Marks Institute.
Oh, okay. Higher Marks, yeah.
Yeah,
I know Higher Marks, but yeah.
Yeah, so the founder, owner of that. I told him that we could do a survey, and he said, yeah, we could do a survey on all the men. We had this conversation, and something about him that he always said to me, "You're a real leader," you know. And so I
agree.
He made that open statement. I think that created some problem with some people within the structure, you know. And then after this survey, 3 of us wanted to have a men's magazine started off, right? So he said to me, "You want to do it? Go ahead and do it." So I called the president and said, "Look, I want to have a meeting with the people who said that they want to be involved in the magazine." So it was Peter Aki and Patrick Abbott and myself. So we had the meeting and we decided we're going to go ahead with the magazine for Mother's Day. And I gave Patrick the responsibility to start the magazine, to do everything, you know, because I just trying to take charge kind of thing to get this thing flowing, because I was really passionate about this thing. And they like it, but they didn't have the passion for it. So
Yeah.
So when the magazine came out, the newsletter came out this Sunday in church, after we started, we were selling for $2. Mr. Romley called us. He said, "I want to meet all the men right now." And he took the magazine and said, "What garbage is this? What garbage is this? No phone number, no address, you know, nothing.
No contact information.
Nothing." He said, "I want back my money." $2.
$2. Okay.
He said, "I'm not buying this. Give back my money."
Harsh lesson.
So he gave back his money. And he said, "John, you could do better than take responsibility for it and do it. And I want to meet you guys Tuesday evening in church with a proper magazine newsletter cover."
Format, yes.
So I got home this Sunday evening and I got straight to my computer and I designed 3 templates and how it should be done, everything. And I brought in the men we met, all the men came out to the meeting, and he said, give everybody, he said, "Look at it, that's what I'm talking about. He know what to do. Let him do it." So I pulled 2 other people.
Never shrink from your responsibility, John.
No, never did. So I did it, you know, and I pulled 2 other men with me, one to help me code it and one to edit, you know. So we sat up in that until 1 o'clock in the morning, and we pulled that thing off, and we brought it in the church, and he said, "No, I could pay $5 for it."
Upgrade, yes.
So we did the newsletter, and then there was a fussing. Everybody was saying, John just come. And then that same year became a deacon in the church. I just came to the church, I became a deacon, you know? And when I found out that I was voted the most popular among the people, I said, how did that happen? I just come to church, you know? People just gravitated into me. Because I went out with the pastor, they went to Windsor, and everybody was eating. And my consciousness of who I am, where I'm coming from as a security person, I was looking after leaders. I saw the pastor by himself and nobody offered anything to eat. And that and then what I was taught, that whenever I'm on duty, off duty, I'm still working. So I walk over to him and say, "Can I offer you something to drink?" Right? So we started, that's first time we had an open conversation with that pastor, a young guy. So we started talking, like, I got into the Coke and like a party and stuff. And the lady came and she said, John, this was so nice of you." I said, "That's just my life. That's how I live, you know?"
I want to ask John, I don't believe in the zodiacs and so on, but still, just out of curiosity, what month were you born in? What's your birthday?
November 11th.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's coming in a few days then.
It's gone already.
November.
My God, we're in December.
December. By 1 month.
Yes. Belated birthday wishes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I did that, and then I help out around and do things that have to be done. I see something have to be done. I don't wait to be asked to get it done. I do it. And that's why I tell people all the time, don't wait to be asked to do something you see that need to be done.
So helping and improvement must be intrinsically something that you desire always.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's because you desire the best in things and the best in people, so you help to promote and help people to achieve that.
one of my biggest intolerant is to see people not functioning the role. It disheartens. You know, I don't believe people just have titles. If you have a title, live up to it. You know, you're representing not just yourself. You have an organization to represent. You have to carry yourself as an ambassador of that organization. So for me, I do not like dysfunctional management. Anything that becomes dysfunctional, you're going to lose it. Yes.
Yeah.
And you fail to manage effectively, you will lose it. And one thing about, let me say this, because young people think that I could do it all by myself. Yes, I agree, you want to do it all by yourself, but don't be afraid to ask for help.
Well, the reward is better when you involve more people.
Exactly.
When people are involved, yes. So we all get to own the project. We all get to buy into what it is. It's not a hard sell when everybody else is involved.
You know, what the guy named Apple guy,
Steve Jobs?
Steve Jobs says, he operated Apple as a startup. Which means he had no committees. Everybody is given individual responsibilities. And when they come to the table, they present their case. And the guy asked him, you agree with everything? He said, no. I state my concerns about the project or whatever they come up with. And if I don't like it, they'll prove to me why I should like it. You know what I mean? And he said, most of his success is not on him. It's the people around the team.
People surround you, yeah.
So don't take personal responsibility. Don't take responsibility that you just give to somebody else. And what's my point? The point is that if you have an organization, don't try to do it all by yourself.
Right.
No man is an island to start with, yes.
Empower the people around you to take responsibility to different things. So even with JMFM, we have a board and everybody have an individual that there's no committee, just one person for this, one person for that, one person for this, you know? And I become part of this, believe that if you empower enough people, you become powerful.
Absolutely, because you are sharing the bread for one.
Exactly. So JMFM, the evolving of that, coming out of that whole newspaper thing, and I realized that I hate confrontation that does not bring about progress. Confrontation that does not bring about progress.
Right. It's just TB.
You get it. You understand? So I don't like TV. If you argue with me or something, your argument must be a debate. You might look at the argument as a debate for the betterment.
Right.
So for me, I love progressive conversations.
Absolutely.
And that is what helps build any organization to the level that they're going to be successful at. So for me, when I realized that it's becoming a nuisance, and it's not nurturing, I don't want to be part of it. If I can get you to change, I won't force you to change. But if I could see where you want to go, I could guide you to it, then and I'm willing to learn and to grow, then I'm in with you. But when I see people just want power to do things, to say, I've been here long before you just come, I let you go ahead and do it. And I've done that. And I've realized that never withdraw myself from anything, it just fails. It fails. Several times I see that even in Canada here, I've tried to organize and see that, okay, why don't want me in that? I say I'm out. And then it just collapses. A number of things will collapse.
There are people like that. They just the naysayers, the people who just aren't contented, who are striving without foundation. They all, like the man that built a house on the sand. They always want to have a big house and whatever, but they're not building it on something solid. And to build anything, you need people.
People isn't, you see, and that's the thing.
Anything that will last.
Anything that will last is you have to be people oriented, okay? Profit is fine, product is fine, but we find a lot of them people pay more attention to product and profit than people. And once you shift your focus from people to product and profit, you lose the people that can have the produce profit. So the more you help people become better, and something I try to entrench in Genesis, I said to her, even when you employ people, in the future, ask them what they want to be, do, and have. Because they only here not be to stay with the business, they want to do something for themselves. What are their dreams? How can I contribute to you
and support your dreams? Yeah.
Because you might be the next big thing that will happen to help my business and to help somebody else build their greatness in them.
True.
You know? So that is it. So coming back to the question of evolving to GMFM, being part of being who I am here today. So we launched out of all these things in the organization. I said, no, Lydia and I sat down one night. So then I said, let's plan out this thing right. What we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. And she was an accountant, as I don't know if you know that too. She's an accountant. She's an accountant for the credit union in Grenville. She do account for John Smith wholesale. She was the accountant there, right? So she do her accounting and she had a fear knowledge of how money works, you know. So we decided to make a plan on how we could do this business together. And she said, and you know, so she said, John, this is what we're gonna do. I said, we're gonna do it. You know what I mean? She always, if I come with someone and say, how do I fit into that, John? You know, what is my role here? So we always go do this thing and we write down what everybody has to do, when, the time, and where. So we do that and we say we go launch such and such time, who we need to be at this function, how much people we need to do. Everything was on paper. All right. So we launched the magazine in May 2002. 2001. Yeah, 2001. And she said, when she went up, she said, in 12 years, in 10 years' time, we're going to have our own radio station. I look at her. I said, you said that already? I mean, and I committed to doing it, and we was working on the magazine, doing the magazine every time. And then she became sick in 2005. We put on a concert called Education is Liberation Concert. And we had some young artists involved in that. And then she got sick there. And the last one we produced was 2005. And since after she got sick and died in 2007, I didn't do anything for almost 10 years, 10, 12 years, no anything, until the radio station came in 6 years ago, you know. But
so that was around 2017. You started the radio, Gem FM?
Yeah.
Why Gem FM? Why that name?
Genesis Magazine Radio.
Oh, okay.
You just shot me that. Genesis Magazine Radio. Genesis. So the GEM, like Gen, and the M magazine, FM radio.
So John, it seems to me that you use the good eyes when you do business, the eyes of inspiration, the eyes of inclusion, and the eyes of investment. So you always use good eyes. And in doing that, yes, in doing that, you have vision, you plan, and you execute. And in that way, you include everybody, which is very good. And I think these are some of the lessons we're taking from this this interview, this sharing here this evening.
Right. And I was about to say, because we're heading up on the hour, so we will have to do it again, John, and maybe this time we'll plan it out so we can approach different subjects as a step ladder kind of thing. We can probably do it sometime in the new year. Where we're gonna go step by step because it for you having a registration is kind of, I know lots of Grenadians have registration now that's overseas, but their focus is totally different to yours. Your focus has a lot to do with education, religion, and politics, which is very nice. It's not just the news.
Yeah, I think what happened with mainstream, and I said it before, even before getting to radio, I think when we get an opportunity to be media personnel, we must be an educational person. We're going to educate people, transformative, renew thinking in people, transformation of mindset. I think we played much of music that it does, and listen to some of the music some of the so-called radio stations have, especially the internet radio station. The music are not uplifting, in a lot of cases, derogatory music that a lot of people look after, you see there are 1,000 viewers and stuff like that. That is fine. But my thing was, what are they learning from those things? When you have those,
because you are what you eat.
Yes, you become that thing. So I am not in that grouping, try to get 1,000 people to listen to garbage. You know what I mean? If I got one person a night to listen to me, and when they finish listening to what I say on my radio show, or any shows that I have, or any person that have a show on my radio, they must learn something from that show.
Amen.
There's one person that come. I read a book one time, the guy had a lot of, this rancher. So he had a lot of cows, and the evening came, he tell his friend how much cows he have. And the evening came, only one cow came in. And he said, where's the rest? He said, well, they were in the field. You know, they don't see need to come in to get food. So he said, what do you do? He said, I'll feed the one that come. You know?
Yep. Yeah.
So I ain't just gonna feed the one person that listens to the radio.
Oh, wow, that's so powerful. You edify who wants to be edified.
Yes.
Yes.
Because one of my things and my mission statement is to empower one person at a time, or to transform one person at a time.
One at a time.
Yeah.
One cocoa fill the basket.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I mean, I used to do when I had more time. I used to be doing when I do it all by myself before. My wife used to do a 3 o'clock program. James used to do a Saturday youth program on Saturday. I used to do my show on management and planning and stuff like that. I used to use the book Rich Dad Poor Dad as my book.
Robert Kiyosaki.
And Cash Flow Quadrant as part of my thing.
Yeah.
The videos from here and there to do my presentations and stuff like that. So I always believe that if we are to grow as a people, we must be transformed by the renewing of our minds.
Amen.
You
said it.
We cannot be transformative if we're not changing.
Yeah.
And I often ask people, when you left Grenada, St. Vincent, Jamaica, and you come to Canada, what was your first thought when you got a ticket in your hand? What was that ticket saying to you when you had a ticket in your hand? What was it saying to you? What was your objective of coming to this place?
Right.
When I look around and I see people in the bar, sit down, 8 o'clock at night, sit down, drinking and smoking, I said to them, you could do nothing greater. You don't have to come to Canada to do that.
Exactly.
Too expensive a ticket to come and buy to sit down in the bar, 8 o'clock at night.
Do the same thing.
Do the same thing, you know? And I'm thinking like, wow. They say, well, I work hard, I need to take a rest. I need to go and have some time. You know, I see people work hard too. But they don't go and do this thing you're doing like that. That is they call it entertainment relaxation, you know? But at the end of the day, ask you the question.
Constructive, yeah.
When you evaluate yourself at the end of every year, every period,
where are you in terms of your goals?
What have I done for me? What have I done for the people around me? You know, when I see my daughter cancel off her medical studies and become a journalist, and I say I do it because I see your passion. If you build it for me, I got to follow into it and do it too. You know, that was for me was powerful.
That's powerful.
It tells that she's looking at me as an example, her role model. And if that is doing this, I could do this.
She bought into your vision.
Yes.
Yes.
We have to close
inspire.
Yes. Let me tell you, John, one of the things that always stayed with me, something you posted a long time ago, maybe a year or two after Belle passed away. So you remarried and you have another daughter. But Belle was like a solid love, like.
Yes, critical.
Right. And you posted something and somebody made a comment about you know, she died and why you still revisiting her. And you said something like, we study history of people that died 300 and 400 years ago, and we always bring them up and we always talk about them, Rousseau, whoever. And what's wrong with you talking about somebody that impacted your life and your daughter's life? And I thought that was very powerful because often people shame us into not mentioning the family that we love that passed away. They want us to just forget about it. They think you're not necessarily grieving, but they just don't want you to remember them because they're not a historical figure. And you equated your love.
Hold on. You gotta repeat that. I wasn't hearing nothing that you were saying. The last thing I heard you say, which people shame us. That was the last thing I heard.
Yes.
Watch for the YouTube video.
But no, you know, that's a good observation. Even today, people still ask me why I'm still talking about Belle. You know what somebody did one day? Two people did make a mistake. I caught a mistake through ignorance. And my wife, now, Nataki, the pictures of Belle is in the house.
Yeah.
So this lady came in and she walked in. She had a big picture of Belle there on the wall. And he said, why you still have this picture up? My wife turned to her and said, if you don't like it, don't come back to this house. You know? So that was one person. Recently, I asked a lady to MC my event Saturday coming up, my food annual red and white affair. And he said, I gotta share something with you about your wife. I said, what is it? Because you know, everybody having, why you always talk about the wife, always talking about Belle. She said, I want to share an interesting story. She said, everywhere I go and there is an opportunity to share something, ask you what is the most uncomfortable thing you have ever asked somebody and what the result was. So she said, for the last 13 years, everywhere she go, and somebody asked her what the most uncomfortable thing she had to ask somebody was this. And I'm waiting for what she's gonna say. He said, well, I came to your house and your wife, you know, Nataki gave me, asked me for something to drink. And I said, yes, some tea. And so she made me the tea and I sat down in the living room looking at Belle pictures all over the house and sipping on my tea. I put it down and I said, Nataki, how do you feel? I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about Belle's picture all over the house? She said to her calmly like this, well, I'm not competing with a dead person. If you don't like
Exactly.
it, you have to come back. If you don't like it,
But so often we tend to, people want to force us to
Relegate
put
your
away-
history
yeah.
into the,
Even for me, even with divorces and stuff, it's somebody you did love. No
They're part
matter
of your
how
history.
badly they
Yes.
are now, don't go tearing up pictures. That doesn't change anything. You were together.
yeah. I mean, the thing about it is that with me and Belle, we started very young,
Mm.
you know, and quite quickly, let me just push this one in. I was talking about Decal. She was working at Decal, and Decal had too much work at one time.
Oh, Lordy.
We're not hearing you. And we're losing him.
John,
No?
we lost you, you know.
I think it's just the airwave that's going in and out. And you
Yeah.
hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So I approached Decal and I said, look, I know you have plenty of work to do. How can I be of service, you know, to help facilitate that? Think of you have two buses of people coming from Grenville every day. I cause them a lot to come to St. George's and the money is not big. He said, well, what can you do? I said, well, we could open a factory in St. Andrews. Yeah. He said, that's a good idea. So watch me now. My A game, you know?
Uh-huh.
We have made the arrangement. I agree to do it in principle. So if you get a duty concession and get the machinery, we could give you the contract. Okay.
Well,
My father was in charge of a piece of plot of land next to Star School, big piece. So when they are checking land out, and it was only $150 to transfer, stamps transfer, or whatever it was, to get the land. So I went to St. George's. But I'll give you a little joke behind that. So when the birds go harvest this Sunday night, okay? I didn't plan to go to the harvest. I went, Marilyn came to visit us, Belle, I was in San Diego. So my sister came on to spend the evening by Belle. So I walked with Marilyn up the evening to Birds Grove. And I met my other brother barbecuing chicken. So I stayed with him for a while, we chatted and things. I went into the dance. And I wasn't a drinker. But he offered, John, have a drink, John, have a drink. So I keep taking a drink. Not really getting drunk, you know? I didn't know.
oh, God.
We lose you. We're not hearing you. Oh no. Oh no.
I lost control. I had no. A guy bunks me, and I feel I want to fight. And the guy was bigger than me. You know, I feel I want to fight this guy. So somebody said, John, no. You know, so I just calmed down. And then I walked out on the side to the boxing plant. And I was afraid to walk on the hill looking so steep in my junk self. You know? I dragged down on my bottom to the bottom of the hill. And guess who picked me up? Nuku. He said, John, what's wrong with you? I started throwing up. Nuku put me in his like a red car and dropped me straight in Mr. Welby's house. I got in, I was drunk. I was out of it. So Belle made me some hot water with some spice and butter leaf in it and stuff like that. Drank that, drop again. So what happened now? The morning I had an appointment with the Grenada Development Bank. Yes? The financing. You know? Oh boy. I get on Johnny Bus in the morning, right in front of me, see a place, I start throwing up again. Throwing up. All right. Next thing I hear, they say, Bell put stuff in food for me. I couldn't stay down. And I kind of, you know what I mean? All of us still have hangover. Next day, and Miss Seppi come out at the shop and she give me 2 extra strong. You know, like a white thing?
Yeah. The candy.
And a soda water to drink. Yeah? I drank that and I head up on the leaf bus and head to St. George's, go to the office, had my arrangement, get the approval, the pre-approval for the loan and everything like that. I went to Brighton my house and with Louis and I, how to get the machines and stuff together. I went to
We're not hearing you again, John. I'm not sure what's going on.
Maybe John has to ditch the mic.
You know what? I think there's a lot of stuff using up. Yeah. No.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
maybe the mic's is
no, I don't know why. I don't know. So continue. I went to Archibald Avenue. I met Richard Modest. He was in charge of the duty concession. I got that approved. And I came back home and I went to my dad and I said, okay, we need the land now. And he sold the land.
What?
He sold the land.
Oh my goodness.
All that make Bell got so mad. So mad. Because everything was going nice.
Everything was...
We would have like probably 60, 70 people and we getting content from Bangladesh. Everything was done. Plan out nice. We could be doing this clothing line and stuff like that, you know, and having stuff going. School shirts for Barbados and school stuff for training. We were doing these 2 countries. And the thing was set up nice. So once you get everything going, it took about 6 months to put the factory thing together. We just set up this stuff. Everything was done. The Grand Development Bank would have been doing the whole thing and stuff like that. That would have been it, right?
So, well, in the greatest scheme of things, God knows best.
Yes. Boss, you didn't tell your dad you wanted the land?
Yes, I talked about that and what we're gonna do. And
but maybe got a better deal.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that deal because the land was really I can remember mention Telescope land. A lot of people own the land.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's how I know that. People just is stamp exchange, no payment. Just for the lands. So he was the landlord for the thing, and the lady in Trinidad, she wasn't coming back to Grenada, so he had to sell it or give that. So he couldn't sell for money, big money. He had to do stamp transfer. So that was really up my alley right there, because there was no
money exchanging. Yeah.
Yes, imagine paying $1.50 for a stamp to just and again, you know. So that was kind of a cool.
I would love to know about that too. I think I'd save all my roti money.
So that was a good thing for me, but then that didn't work out. So Bell ended up coming to Canada, and I was still the union president. And I came here. I said I want to spend in 2 months here, and she gave me an ultimatum. She did, you know. She said, if you go back, there's no guarantees they're going to be together. Got to live in long distance relationship.
Yes.
Okay. So if we got to do it, we got to do it together and do it here. So I sent back to Grenada and resigned from everything. Yeah, everything.
Grenada lost something there because, especially St. Andrew, I think.
I went back. I came here and then I said to her, when I studied the system, how it works, I say, from now on, we're playing by my rules. No, I'm the one. I'm gonna do all the investigation around town, what need to be done, how to get this thing working,
and you implement, execute the rule. Yeah.
We should go and sit down in the laundromat because we don't want to talk to lots of people to hear what we're planning to do.
It's a good secret, yeah.
Our lands down. So we always have come up with a plan, write it down. Every time plan something or go to exit, something happened. Something happened. That's okay. Don't worry, it will happen. But failure upon failure upon failure upon failure. If you don't quit.
Yeah. Stepping stone for tomorrow's success.
Stepping stones to success.
For tomorrow's success.
And lessons, yes. Yeah. Stepping stones and lessons. So I mean, we can do another thing all about that.
Yeah.
Successive, yeah.
I want to say to people listening that do not ever give up on your dreams. Don't you ever do that. Don't let nobody boo you out of your dreams. People may not see what you're seeing. You are standing on a mountain and standing in the valley, they can't see on the other side. So when you see on the other side, just signal them to come up and you'll see it too. You know? So your effort that you put into anything, keep on doing it. Even when you don't see it happening
We lost you, John.
Okay, well, John is away. I'll say that. And there are also people who would say, my cousin did this and failed, or my auntie did this and failed, or my dad did this and failed. Oh, you're back.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to dream, and don't be to be conceived, to have to conceive any ideas. You know?
Right. And while you were away for the few seconds, I was saying there are people who are going to say, oh, I know somebody who did try to do that and fail. My auntie, my uncle, my father, whatever. And I learned from my mentor a long time ago, my thing to say to them too, I know a person who fell in the bathtub. You know, the idiot got up and bathed.
Yeah. It's funny, those things empowers me, even as you say that. Yeah. Because a lot of times, we could be so distracted from our vision,
that we don't think, we stop thinking.
Exactly. Because people who suffer,
yeah.
Exactly. People who suffer from possibility blindness would never see what you're seeing.
Right.
And they would tell you, don't do it. You know how much pregnant women aborted the baby because somebody don't think they could bring it? Somebody don't have enough money. Somebody don't think the father will stand up with you.
Brother Calliste, we kind of straying away from romance, right? I mean, that's another kind of we're going to do that romance another time.
Distractors.
Are you frozen again?
Yeah, I was in the ice water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So conception is always something that you have to do. Have mindset.
Hold on. You just threw me a curveball. You were talking about baby and abortion, and then you use conception into
Yeah. No. The whole idea was that is having the baby. People don't see you can conceive.
The idea of the baby. Yeah.
Nobody sees the baby.
Idea.
I know, but you could have used another word. There's synonyms. You
No, I want to speak local language. People don't understand. Because something. You know about it, right? I think Hudson George and I have shared the same opinion and views.
Hudson George.
People expect you to speak this Queen English to be understood.
No. That's not what I expected.
Hold on. Local parlance and local things we use to communicate to our people. Right?
I absolutely agree. What I'm saying is, you were talking about abortion, and now you're talking about conception. That sounds sexual. I don't. I'm talking.
But everything in life, is male and female, whether like it or not.
I'm just saying that the romance we're doing here has more to do with history and community as opposed to.
But everything was given, but no. But that's what you're saying too. But the thing about it, Cindy, from.
He's frozen again. I think it's the movements, how he's moving around the mic.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, it's 109.
Okay.
Well, John.
I could spend the whole night, but that's okay. You guys have to go to bed. You guys gotta walk in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're having more fun now than anything else. And you're frozen again.
Okay, Cindy.
It's really fun.
It is fun. We feel like three drunk people here now.
Anyway, John, we're gonna sign off here. I want to thank you. Also, I want to tell you how much I appreciated you being present. I felt like I was in the midst of with a celebrity, with you coming to my son's Thanksgiving. And you brought your family. I felt so honored. Thank you so much for that. You're always the most cheerful, uplifting person I could remember from, Yay High. And you reminded me that the first time I heard about you and Belle, and then I approached you and asked you. I think we were walking down from Montrose on a Thursday. We always pass by your door there.
Yeah.
In Paradise. So I thank you for who you are, and I thank you for the influence you have on young people, and especially your daughter, because she is making, I mean, when she lost her mom, and I saw you and her, you were taking her to enroll in a school, and you
Yeah.
were always with her at the mall. You've been a stalwart dad. You've been standing there like a post for her, and I really love that. And I want the world to know this. I want the world to know how much you're a family man, how much you put family first. I know God first, but I mean,
Yeah, but
in terms of
human, yeah, we do
right
that.
on all level. So I appreciate very much. This was so much fun.
Thank you, because I get to meet Sherian.
Shirley and Pastor
Showman.
Lazarus. Pastor
Yeah,
Lazarus
Pastor
say
Lazarus.
you're quite an interesting guy. He'd really love to sit and talk with you. And I say you
Really?
wish you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get to talk to your sister there, and we had a very interesting
We had a
conversation.
good talk, yes.
Yeah, and always good to have when I meet people that have same level of thinking, we learn from each other and we grow together.
Right.
The thing about us, we doesn't have much of those conversations, it's important to be important, but most importantly is to empower other people that they come in contact with.
Amen.
So let me
you.
round up too by saying, John, and not much people have stories about Grenville Junior Secondary School, or even Grenville Secondary School. And it's nice to be able to tell this story. It's nice to be able to show people that you're a product of the system in the rural area, and you've managed to do so much in terms of bringing like the rainbow city idea to the stage, and bringing attention to the area, bringing these women cooperatives. And I didn't know very much about those things because I'm from more rural than Grenville, as you know.
I visited so many co-ops in my short time there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely great. So we'd like to thank everyone for sticking and staying with us. Continue to support the channel. Continue to support John's radio station. He has a myriad of lovely programs. You have a function coming up, Red and White.
Red and White Affair, that's happening on Saturday, 10th of December. We'll be giving out, we're honoring people too who make contribution to our society. We take that opportunity to award people for what they have done. We have selected 7 people this year for Book Author of the Year, Literary Award. We have the Lydia Kais Award, which is the biggest one, Lydia Kais Award, Service of Excellence in Community. And then we have the Entrepreneur Award, and we have the Listeners Award. So the person who listens to Gem FM, the most shared Gem FM the most, gets an award. And the same person again last year, share the most and listen the most on every show. She is there and share every show. Mr. B. So to all of those people, we have pastors of the year as well. So
and you have it's just a link. How would people get to attend?
Well, you could go on Eventbrite and you will see our event there for this. Like there'll be the next big event happening
in the city.
So gemfm.ca or
Eventbrite.
Go to Eventbrite and you will see the list of
events, and they'll select it.
Okay, all right.
And buy the tickets there.
And get the tickets there.
All right.
You have people come out and just support the people that are doing the business.
Absolutely.
Appreciate the people that are being awarded and get to know who they are.
All right. Yeah. You're awesome. Thank you so much. And to our viewers out there, we hope you enjoy the show. We will bring John back. Maybe I'll bring him on my Bright in the Corner with Charmaine, and we can have the Bible lessons, life lessons, and we can also do another romance show at another time.
There's lot to be spoken of, but I again, Charmaine and I talk about something too.
Yes. Hopefully next year we get to talk more with that.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll probably bring you guys on my show, but you guys just my show is an early Saturday morning show, but you guys at church.
So we at church there. Yeah.
I was going to tell you that.
A Sunday afternoon could be fine with me.
I think you even had a Friday night show. I tried to catch a few, but then we have worship on Friday nights.
Yeah.
So
Sunday will be better. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Monday's
So
fine. I'm good.
remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for joining us with Romancing Grenada, Carriacou, and Pittimatic, and romancing with the stalwart leader here, Mr. John Calliste from Paradise and Andrews, Grenada. Take good care. Bye-bye now.
One
Thank
love.
you.
God bless. Nice.